Hi again guys, and welcome to another speed build for Forza Horizon 4, in particular this time for another drift car. They're not the most obvious choice when it comes to straight line speed in general, certainly not optimised builds for that kind of stuff, but this one is exactly that. It adds to the existing handling, the existing driftability, but also improves the acceleration and especially improves the top end speed. And as you could see from the thumbnail, it's quick. Very quick. Now, most of the drift cars in the game are working with a huge amount of power, but as far as the actual performance, that's where it tends to vary. This one, not too surprisingly, being Mustang based in terms of its aerodynamics, it's not too bad. It's got a huge amount of power, it's very wide, so it's pretty stable, and it's not overly heavy. So across the board, it's working with a really good set of skills. As far as the benchmark, it's strong. For acceleration in particular, 1.7 to 60 is good, 2.9 to 100 is very strong, 268 flat out as far as the benchmark goes. Now, before we get into the tuning, of course there are two things. One is the upgrades that you need. As far as this one, it's pretty easy. I believe, if I recall correctly, you're already working with all-wheel drive, you cannot upgrade the power, so apart from that, just do whatever you can, fit the lighter wheels, that kind of stuff. And as far as getting the tune on the car, you can get this one straight from my storefront if you'd rather just do it quickly. So just use the keywords in the description or use my gamer tag, also in the description below, and you can find it pretty easily. It's a pretty popular tune as well. Now, as far as the gearing goes, I would recommend a final drive of 3.1, then for the individual gears 2.65, 1.9, 1.5, 1.2, 1 and 0.82. Then as far as the alignment, it is still a very slippery car, because this tune is not designed to stop it from being able to drift, it's designed to add more straight line performance as well. So think of it as being like a drift car that you can also beat supercars with in a drag race. That's kind of what I was going for. So as far as the camber goes in particular, you could give it some camber if you want more stability, if you want to keep it under more control, be less tail happy, even make the handling a little bit heavier, which could help a car like this. So of course you could do that if you want to. As far as tow, we've gone neutral as well, 4 degrees of caster. As far as anti-roll, it's reasonably low on 15 for the front and the back. Springs on 55, 60 and the lowest ride height front and rear. Dampers we've got on 6 and 3. The aero you want set as low as possible for that top end speed. And finally for the diff, again, when it comes to the handling, you've got options. You don't have to do exactly what I've done here, because it is still a very, very slippery car, even with all-wheel drive, because it's, as I said, light, you're running lower downforce, and it has a massive amount of power and torque. So if you want to stiffen it up a little bit more, then you could try putting the deceleration settings lower, even all the way down to 0, and you could even put the center split down to, say, 65 or even 60. That will make the handling significantly heavier and make it far less tail happy. So it depends what you need. I wanted it, as I said, to still be able to drift. So kind of the best of both worlds sort of thing. And let's be honest, this is not the kind of car that you should be taking on Zonda Rs and Ferrari FXXs with around corners anyway. No matter what you do to it, you're never going to have an easy victory when it comes to that kind of thing. So as I said, you can grab it from my storefront, but what we all want to see is how it performs in an actual race. Now, as you'll see from this race itself, if you try taking a corner in this thing over 260, of course it's not going to handle like a Koenigsegg. It's just not that kind of machine, and quite literally it's not designed to be. It's designed to be slippery through corners and in effect to handle badly in a conventional sense, because you want to get the tail out. That's the whole point of a drift car. Now, I will say that this one is not quite as sharp as some of the other drift cars can be. They can actually make surprisingly good track cars, the Viper in particular. This one though, it's more of a pure drag car really, so you can get a ton of driftability, a ton of gymkhana ability. The handling is good at lower speeds to mid. High range it gets a little bit heavier, as again you can see from the race itself. But as far as top end speed and acceleration, it ain't exactly lacking. This thing is extremely quick. I don't recall if you can fit drag tyres. If you can, then it might be worth a look if you're looking to do drag racing with it, of course. But I'm pretty sure I'm just running the racing tyres on it. So if you want to check out all of my other speed tunes, then click right here on screen. And for now, as always, thanks for watching.